Assalamu alaikum guys, this is Ibrahim from islamicfinanceguru.com, and today I'm going to share with you something that every Muslim that has an investment in stocks or pensions needs to know about. And that is, how do you actually go about purifying the haram income from your investments? And notice how I said every Muslim, because even Muslims who have Sharia compliant investments, there will be a small percentage of that will be coming from haram income. So you need to know how to deal with that. And this is important to deal with right now, because if you leave it too long, then when you get to the age of 65 and you realize that all of your investments and all of your pension is going to be coming from haram income, then you're going to have a real problem in trying to work out how to purify all of that income, and you might actually have to make a large purification payment, which is not going to be good for your pension. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 steps on how to actually purify your income, and then I'm going to share with you 3 really practical tips on how to actually start that journey, how to actually go about it. The 3 practical steps are: number 1, you should repent. Number 2, you should divest from the haram assets. And number 3, if you have commingled funds, if you've got funds where there's both haram and halal income, then you need to work out how much of it is haram, and then you need to divest from that. So let's dive in. So the first thing is you should repent, because this is a sin, and often we don't realize this. We would never own a pub and make income from selling beer to people, but at the same time we would be happy for some reason to hold stocks in a company that owns a chain of pubs, for example, and makes income from that. And then our pension and our savings are going to be directly coming from that kind of income. It's the same thing, guys. We need to repent from that. It is equivalent as a sin as if we were to own that pub ourselves. The other thing is that your dua will not be accepted if your income is from haram, and on the Day of Judgment you will not be allowed to move from your place until you are questioned about, amongst other things, your income and where you earned your money from. The second thing you should do is divest your haram assets immediately. So if you've got shares in a company that makes pornographic materials, for example, then you need to sell that immediately, and you should give away all of the profits that you make from that sale as well. So for example, if you bought a company for £1,000, realize it was haram, it's now worth £1,400, you need to sell it and keep your £1,000 and give away that £400. If it makes a loss, let's say it goes down to 800, you can keep the 800, that's fine. The third thing that you need to do is work out the haram elements of your commingled fund. So if your pension is in your standard workplace pension fund, then the chances are that it will not be in a Sharia compliant fund. You need to go in and find out A, what fund it is, and then secondly, how much of that fund has income coming in from haram investments. And this is unfortunately quite a difficult process, because there's nothing precise on the internet. No pension fund will tell you exactly what investments it has. So there's a bit of an approximation that you will have to make. But at the end of this approximation, what you want to end up with is X percentage of my portfolio in this fund is from haram assets, and therefore I know how much I need to give away from any income or gains that I make from this investment. And by the way, we've got an article on this that I will share in the description below that helps you go through this in a worked example, and you can access that in the description below. So now 3 really practical steps that you can take to actually get going on purifying your investments. The first thing is that you need to transfer to an Islamic fund. If you've got a pension in your standard workplace pension fund, then you need to get in touch with whoever your pension provider is and switch to an Islamic fund. And that's usually quite easy to do, and most big pension providers will have at least a few Sharia compliant funds within their universe. So do that, because that's easy and there's no real excuse for not doing that, and it will save you a lot of headache about 20 years down the line. The second thing that you should do is get on top of your historic commingled or haram income that you've got coming in. If you've had a pension fund for 20 years in something that's haram, then don't leave it for another 10-15 years until you retire. Deal with it now, because it's better to just get it over and done with rather than let it accumulate even more money that you're going to have to potentially purify later on. The final thing is you should try and not get into this predicament in the first place. We actually have a halal stock screening course at islamicfinanceguru.com that shows you how to make sure that the investments that you're making in the first place are actually fully halal, and how to go about picking any stock in the world and making sure that it is halal or not, and we go through a way of doing that. So do check out that course. That's it, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, if you've benefited from this video, then please do share it, do subscribe to our channel, and do sign up to our mailing list on islamicfinanceguru.com, and I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.